What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Behind Show. In case you missed it, yesterday there was a blockbuster trade in the NBA that involved multiple All-Stars, many first-round picks, and NBA scoring champion James Harden. So I'm going to be talking about the trade that kind of shot the NBA world a little bit. I mean, there's 4 teams involved in the trade. There's so many great players in it. So I'll go ahead and get started here. The Cavaliers got Jared Allen and Taurean Prince, while the Pacers got Chris LeVert and a second-round pick. They got Chris LeVert from the Nets, who's a very talented player and one of the better, players who came off the bench this season and last season. He was a very good piece of the Nets team, but he was traded due to the Nets trying to trade for James Harden. The Houston Rockets received 4 first-round picks that were unprotected and 4 first-round unprotected picks that they will swap with teams. And they also got all-star guard Victor Oladipo from the Pacers. So, I mean, they got all that just to get rid of James Harden. And it's kind of crazy that Harden was traded. I mean, you look at players he's played with in Houston, just unable to work out, like Dwight Howard. Seems like lots of people forget about Howard even played with Harden. Chris Paul, they had a 3-2 lead in the Western Conference Finals and blew that against the Warriors. Russell Westbrook experiment with Houston with Harden did not work out. So, and even the first 9 games of the season with John Wall, I mean, they're 3-6. So he gets traded to the Nets, and the Nets now have James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. But it's just absolutely insane because those are really 3 ball-dominant players. And before the Nets traded for James Harden, there was already talks about the Nets, maybe not being sold on Kyrie as a teammate. And you kind of heard that when Kyrie was with Boston too. Some players, I mean, they were glad that Kyrie wasn't really with the Celtics anymore. And I mean, you have Harden, who has not been able to win the big time games in Houston with very talented players. You have Durant, who came off an injury, did not play last season, and Kyrie Irving, who's not really the best of a teammate. Their chemistry is just going to be very interesting. And something, everybody talks about the Nets being in the finals or maybe even beating the Lakers or whoever comes out of the West. You have Kyrie, you have James Harden, and you have Kevin Durant. That's without a doubt the best big 3 in the NBA right now. Easily. You can't argue it. That is easily the best big 3 in the NBA. But aside from that, who do you have? I mean, Jared Allen wasn't really bad. I mean, he was a decent big guy, but you trade him away. Chris LeVert is very, very underrated. I mean, he was really nice when the Nets were in the bubble this past season. And then Spencer Dinwiddie is out for the year. You have those 3 guys, but you really don't have anybody else. And I'm really interested to see what the Nets do with those players, how they play, how they go in and play in the postseason. Honestly, I still do not think the Nets will even be in the finals. I think they'll lose to the Celtics because I know James Harden's the best scorer in the NBA in my opinion, but with adding him with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant's going to be really interesting, and it's going to be really intriguing and fun to watch the Brooklyn Nets over the next couple of months. So let me know in the comments what you think about this trade. If you all could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you next time on the Sports Behind Show.